Thanksgiving. I guess it was a lot of people home using the bandwidth, you know what I'm saying? It is what it is, like on the street. So, it ended up cutting out, but we back now. Shout out to everybody. So let's kind of react to what some people are saying about Kamala Harris's last speech before we get into some other news.
Thank you, Tim. Thank you. Back at you, brother. You are such an extraordinary leader, and we have become lifelong friends. I just, in front of everyone, I want to thank you, Tim. You lead with courage. You lead with heart. You see the people. You care about the people. You believe in.
What's up, Ghetto God? A member in here. Appreciate you, bro. Code Doc Carter, shout out to you. A member in here. Appreciate you. Froggy Megsy, shout out to you.
Lifting the dignity to which all people are entitled.
What's up, Deontay Kennedy? Another member.
And you do it and you have a sense of fun when you're doing it. But you are an extraordinary leader, and obviously the people of Minnesota are very, very lucky to have you there. But you are a national leader and a dear friend, and thank you. Noel, thank you for your work in Pennsylvania and all that you did for our campaign. And let me just say to everyone on this call, I am so grateful for you, and I'm so thankful to you.
What's up, Mafioso? I see you in here. What's up, y'all?
I'm thankful for your love of our country and your willingness to put the work into it. I'm thankful for the faith that you.
She definitely seemed like she gone off something. Eyes look glossy. She looked disheveled.
Disheveled?
The whole thing, like she looks like she's had a rough night, or maybe she just woke up, or she off something. She look insane.
Put in me and Governor Walz and our team. And I am.
All right, I want to ask y'all. This is me being fair. What's up, Magic, Jason, Richard, everybody in here, Dre, Respect, VA. I want to ask y'all something. She ran an like a presidential election, right? If she chooses to, from what I understand, she was in Hawaii or something like that on vacation. If she chooses to get sauced, you know what I mean? Can we really get mad at her? Like, that was a crazy, like, y'all gotta imagine, right? And I did not vote for this lady. I did not think she was presidential. I did not think she needed to be in the White House, right? But at the same time, if you look at like both parties, right, the amount of pressure that's on them from the general public, nah, man. Hey, you might need a break from that. So if she chooses to get sauce, if that's the case, I can't really get mad at her. It ain't like she running for election.
Well, because I know your character is such that you're not gonna get knocked down, and you're in this fight, and you're in it for all the right reasons. And I know that about you. It's why you're part of this call right now, and all the work that you did over those 107 days and even before. That's your nature. And the outcome of this election obviously is not what we wanted. It is not what we worked so hard for. But I am proud of.
I can't believe I'm about to make an excuse for Kamala Harris. Then she like 60. You know what I'm saying? Like, I mean, she might be a little tired,
The race we ran. And your role in this was critical. What we did in 107 days was unprecedented. Think about the coalition that we built, and we were so intentional about that. You would hear me talk about it all the time, being a daughter of parents who were active in the civil rights movement.
Yeah, Richard Mitchell, you kind of right, bro. Richard Mitchell said, yeah, she's second in command. No breaks. You kind of right.
I know and believe that the best movements that are about progress in our country mean that it's leaders that you.
Yo, that's crazy, bro. Because I see what poor George has put in the comments. He said 1.5 billion spent in 107 days, leaving 20 million in debt. Shake my head. That's crazy. That is very, very interesting. Like, you put that like that. Just imagine if she would have had 4 years. We would be crazy broke, bro.
That we are dedicated to the coalition, to bringing people together that seemingly have nothing in common, but have everything in common.
This is why she always, during the campaign season, was never able to go off script because, and I tried to give her a lot of grace for this. She always seemed like she off something. And I'm not sure what that is. I don't know if she got an addiction or not.
I've never seen her like this. I've watched a lot of her debates. I've never seen her like this. Like, she does look disheveled. All right. Like, you've never seen her really with even the hair out of place. She looked like she just woke up. She just got. I'm not saying she did it. I'm just saying she looked like she just woke up, popped a couple, you know what I'm saying? Like shots, and then just got on camera like, all right, let's do this, y'all.
I'm not saying that she
but like, she don't always look like that. Like, she does be saying some off the wall things, you know what I'm saying? But she don't be looking like that all the time.
Because what I am saying, it seems like she always is off something. And for those type of people, you got to put the cue cards in front of them. You got to make sure that they read it directly. Don't get them off script. Don't let them talk for themselves, because you know that they got to show up. You know that they got to do it because the obligation.
You know, Joe Biden can't even like talk for himself, the president. Yo, what is up with America where we got people like this like running the country? This is insane, bro. I've never thought, like, you know, when I grew up, I thought, when I was growing up, I always thought like the presidential office was prestigious. You had to be super smart, super intelligent to be able to do that. But now that I'm older, it's like regular people that you meet every day in life seem like they've got more common sense and would be a better fit than the people that we have in office right now. That's very interesting.
Is there, but it doesn't mean that it's going to go well. And so you try to cover it up as best as you can. And she still got a lot of word salad, but let's see if we can get to it.
A coalition where we bring people together based on a deep love of our country.
Also, y'all, the weekend coming up, we're going to be going live a lot. You know what I'm saying? Because I kind of been taking a break from YouTube. Because y'all got to understand, like, running up to 100,000 subscribers from, like, I think 67,600. Like, I was live, like, nonstop, bro. So I had to take a break. That's just me doing YouTube. You know what I'm saying? I had to take a break. I had to watch movies. I had to chill. I had to handle, like, you know, regular stuff. So just imagine, like, if you want running a 107-day election campaign, like, you're gonna be tired, bro. Like, I don't see how her or Donald Trump, I don't see how they can do it. I couldn't do that. Like, being real, like, Donald Trump, I think, was even more vigorous than her, like, in his campaign. Like, he was everywhere, sitting down, doing 3-hour interviews, flying this place, doing a rally, flying over here, doing 2 rallies, flying over here, meeting with, you know, all these people. Like, this is insane, like, what they do to try to win an election. Then you got all these people in your ear. You never, like, people don't realize these people are never alone, like, during that time. You got Secret Service around. They are literally watching you. You know what I'm saying? The door while you using the bathroom, bro. You ever been somewhere you gotta use the bathroom? And you just like, you kind of looking around, making sure ain't nobody around so you can just run in there real quick and use the bathroom. Bro, imagine Secret Service there with you when you about to use the bathroom. That is crazy. Not, you know what I'm saying? Like outside the door waiting on you. So they know exactly what you're doing. Like when you in there, like that's insane. That is insanity. The tour buses, all of that, like got people around you all day long. I used to be a people person. I am not a people person anymore. I cannot be around real people. Like no more. Like I take real people and like little, you know what I'm saying, time slots to deal with real people. Like going to work or whatever, and then I'm home. I don't want to be around real people, bro. Like, and then these people are around people 24/7. Like, I would go crazy. And then you got people, and not only that, you doing all of this, you got people in your ears. She got the magic earrings, you know, so people talking to you. Like, that is draining, bro. Like, for either one of them. Luckily, like, for a Donald Trump, he can go off script. He doesn't need a teleprompter. You know, so he could just, you know, he's been famous like forever. He's not nervous. He's been through this process before. So he could just get up there and wing it. So it's a little bit less pressing for him. I would say shout out to Mafioso with the $5 donation. He said, your hard work is recognized. Piperboy salute. Shout out to you, bro. You know what I mean? But, yo, Mafioso, could you imagine doing that? That's insane, bro. That's why I think they do need to allow younger people to run for election. And, younger people may have that's why they won't do it really. Because younger people may be a little bit more radical in their thinking and not just going to roll with the, because I think you could be like, what's the age to run for president? Isn't it like 35 or something like that? Hold on, let's see. Hold on. President. What is it, y'all? Somebody tell me. It wasn't like 45 or something like that, I think it was. Requirements for presidential candidates. 35. So you can be 35 years old running for the president of the United States. They will never let a 35-year-old. Like, why would y'all just raise it and be like, how old was Obama when he ran? So Obama was 55. What? Despite the recent upward trend of presidential ages, the median age for a U.S. president at inauguration is 55 years old. Okay. So how old was he? Why y'all be doing these websites and y'all don't even be putting the information out? That's crazy. We gotta go all the way down. Obama was 47. He was 47. Huh. Start of presidency, 47. And then you got John F. Kennedy was 43. I thought he might have been younger than that. So I guess he was 43. Theodore Roosevelt was 42. So is Roosevelt like the youngest? Yo, our country is young, bruh. What are we, like 250 years old? That's young for a country, bruh. So I don't know, but I kind of wish they would have a younger person running things, but then they can't be controlled. You gotta fall in line. So I don't know.
And our understanding that the strength of our country will be a function of our willingness to put in the work.
She gotta be.
What you think, Mafioso? Do you think she lit? What you think, bro?
Did you hear what she just said? Listen.
The strength of our country will be a function of our willingness to put it.
How was it's funny because over the last couple of days I've been talking about how she was telling her political advisors to keep her options open and that she was possibly going to run for president in 2028 and then also governor possibly in 2026 over in California. That would be Christmas. JD Vance would absolutely eat her alive. Look at
They're not going to run her again. There's no way, because she'll be 64 and at the how she is, cognitively, how she is, I don't think they will run her again. Mafioso with the $2 donation says she drunk off that hitty. She might be on
Look
something.
At how it paused. She looks like she's off something. For real. This is insane.
In the work.
Get her from off the camera, bro.
And that we will do that work with a sense of joy, yes. With a sense of work ethic and understanding it's going to be hard, but it's good work.
Yo.
It's good work. To be engaged in a collective fight for America's future. And it means so much to me and to Governor Walz that you knocked on doors, you called friends, you called in favors. You said, hey, I showed up.
All right, bro. The more this goes on, the clearer this is looking, bro. I do want to put a disclaimer. I am not saying this lady is drunk. I'm not saying that. I say it looks like she is. But I'm not saying that she definitely is. I'm not saying that. But she is giving off some characteristics of a drunk person right now.
Your softball game, now I need you to show up at the campaign office. You put in the time, it was personal for you. And you gave all that you could to support our campaign.
Only for them to blow through $1.5 billion.
Crazy.
Give it to their friends and their families. Give it to Roland Martin, giving it to Al Sharpton, giving it to Beyonce, giving it to Harpo Productions, giving it all.
Beyonce's mother said that they never got paid to do it. So I don't know. I'm not gonna say that. I mean, I think she did, but they said that she didn't. So I don't know. We kind of got to go off of what they say. Somewhat. Twisted J Gaming said she definitely on that happy juice or at least something. And then poor George said Anton's face looks worried AF. Y'all hit the like button if y'all can, because we got to break through the algorithm. Everybody talk about this Drake and Kendrick Lamar. I don't want to talk about that. But it's a lot of competition. So if y'all can, I could see like on my end, like through OBS, if y'all hitting the likes and that. Hit the likes, hit the emojis, double tap the screen, all of that. It would be appreciated.
All of these people, and they blew through all your money, and they went $20 million in debt, and they still fundraising. Not because she's still trying to campaign or count votes, because they're trying to cover the debts. And maybe that's one of the reasons why she's showing up on this, because they have to cover the debts.
Because of your efforts, get this, we raised an historic $1.4 billion, almost $1.5 billion.
So wait, you raised $1.4 billion and you're still in debt? $20 million? This is crazy. Hey, Voodoo said I should get Blogger of the Year. I was Blogger of the Year last year. I don't care what none of them bloggers say. You can't tell. I did more views than all of them last year. So I don't, you know what I'm saying? Like, I don't need like some random, you know what I'm saying? Like people posting, oh, who's Blogger of the Year? Like that nobody knows. Like I was Blogger of the Year. Like I had more views than all of them bloggers. Like it is what it is. So like, I could get back into the view bag like easily. Plus, it's easier now. I got like 100-some thousand subscribers, but I get back into the view bag. Like all you got to do is just talk about what exactly like people want to talk about. Now I want to talk about everything I want to talk about. You know what I'm saying? But bro, I was Blogger of the Year last year. They're never gonna say that because I'm Piper Boy Williams, but that's what it was. Like in terms of what was going on in battle rap, like that was. I think it was clear.
From grassroots.
Now this year, I don't care.
Supporters alone,
and lost everything.
The most in presidential campaign history. Nearly 8 million donors.
And then what you got to understand too, like okay, this is not to divert from what we're talking about, but as far as that battle rap stuff, that you know what I mean, like all of that, you got. Even if I did an interview with everybody and like did what I was doing, like still getting a lot of views, they will never try to give me that because I'm not a controlled media source. You see what I'm saying? Like they can't like just hit me up and be like, do this, and I do it. I will never do that. So that's why they can't. Like a person like me, you can't say that. You know what I'm saying? So they'll give it to somebody that don't like their views are not even close to mine, like at all. Like they'll try to do it. You see what I'm saying? So it's like I don't care what none of them people say. It's what the fans was saying. Like who they were viewing, I was the one being viewed. Like all last year. You know what I mean? Like 20,000 plus views. You know what I mean? No video under 10,000 views last year. Now I talk about what I want to talk about. I can get right back into that bag. I can show you real quick. You know what I'm saying? But like now I let somebody else have it. You know, I just come in, talk about what I want, go into entertainment, politics, talk about what I want, and move back in it. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, last year I was Blogger of the Year. I don't care what none of them say.
Contributed an average donation of about $56. To fuel our people-powered campaign. And understand that the work that we did included the work that so many of you here did, which is to talk to first-time voters. Many of you are first-time voters. And to talk about how being involved can make a difference. And that remains true.
Imagine if she had became president.
That I just want us to please take away, that our fight for freedom and for opportunity and for the promise of
Voodoo, I'm not talking about like I'm not talking bad about none of the bloggers. I don't think all of them are compromised. I don't think that. I think they got their own like opinions and stuff like that for the most part. The ones that like I rock with, I'm cool with, you know what I'm saying, that I know, like they talk. You know what I'm saying? Like they talk about whatever they want to talk about. They're not really controlled. It's just that, you know, I just felt like I didn't care who it was. Like, I did more views than them last year. So, I mean, it don't mean like they're compromised or nothing like that. I don't think that.
Of America, it included, for example, nearly almost 4 million first-time contributors to our campaign because of the work you did of helping people know that they can be engaged and that they're not outside, that they're inside, that we're all in this together.
She
And
is
that
drunk out of her mind. Gotta be. This look crazy.
Yo, Anton picked the only part where she sounded sober. It says she drunk out of her mind. Bro, she like what?
continues. The work must continues of
The
remind
work must continues. The work
Yeah, the work must continues is crazy. The work must continues.
work continues. The work must continues of
The
remind
work must continues. The work must continues. I'm hearing stuff. I'm gonna replay it for you.
continues. The work must continues of reminding
even
ourselves
read
See,
that
this is why you got to get sauce before you do like you know what I'm saying? Like if you heard, because whatever you say, like it's gonna be picked apart. You about to have millions of people watching you. Like this is crazy, bro. Like, bro, you better get me up here. You know what I mean? Like before I do this speech, like I don't know, man. Like I'll be like getting like. When I was doing battle rap, bro, if I would do a topic and I knew I was gonna have like 1,600 in a live or something like that, you know what I mean? And I, you know, like certain topics or even more, I get nervous. That imagine if you about to drop something and you about to have millions of people watching you, and then you gonna have like bloggers scrutinizing you, and Twitter be bullying her like crazy. They do. And then Twitter about to bully you. Everybody about to go in on you. And these people don't have like regular platform. You got Piers Morgan, like platforms like that that's going to end up criticizing you. You got Sky News Australia with Rita. She going to end up criticizing you. You got all these, you know what I'm saying? Political bloggers that's going to go in. Like, man, listen, get me a beer. Shout out to Mafioso. He said, Russia fires ICBMs into Ukraine, no warheads, breaking news. I think they did that like some days ago, didn't they?
we have an ability to stay engaged in
What's
a way
up,
that will make a
Anonymous?
difference. The work that you all did, it's going to have lasting effect. Again, I'll say, you know, the election didn't turn out like we wanted it to. Certainly not as we planned for it to. But understand that the work we put into it was about empowering people. That's the spirit.
No, the work y'all put into that election was trying to say Donald Trump was, you know what I'm saying, fascist. And, you know, I can't even say the leader of that whole situation that was terrible in Germany with the H word. You know what I'm saying? You know who he is. Like, y'all was like low-key calling him that. Like, CNN was doing the most, MSNBC was doing the most, you was doing the most. Anytime you were asked a real question, you just blame Trump. Like, so what did you actually do, Kamala? Like, where was the like hope or anything like that in your campaign? I ain't see none of that. Like, I seen you guys just trying to berate and run Trump down. I seen Trump like answering questions when he's asked a question. You know what I'm saying? He threw his shots at you, but I see him do like a 3-hour interview on Joe Rogan. He barely even mentioned you. You get in front of Brett Baer and every other word, you know what I mean? Every other thing you're saying is blaming Trump or something because you guys' policies, I think you knew wasn't going to do it. So you had to go to character assassination. And it didn't work because people like what policies could she have said? I think they were trying to say that they were going to stop price gouging on food, but you guys are literally in office and you didn't do it. So if you would have presented that to the public, like, oh, we're going to work on like the food companies that are price gouging and keeping hyperinflated prices, even though, you know, COVID is over and all of this, the prices are still high. Like, people will be like, okay, y'all been in office for 4 years. Why haven't y'all done that yet? Then I think that North Carolina, like the hurricanes, like hurt her bad when people saw that she wanted to give $750 to the household, not individual person, household, you know, and you got to qualify for it. And then they weren't allowing Elon Musk to bring in his, Elon Musk commented and said that the workers that he sent out there to set up Starlink so that people could apply for things like that, like they were stopping them from coming in, like because they wanted it to be a controlled like situation. Then it came out, and I'm not saying this is real, just what they reported. You know, they said that the people who were signing up for FEMA, if they were Trump supporters, they were getting aid last. That's what they were saying, like all over Twitter and all over like social media. I don't know if that's real or not, but that's what was being said. You know, so I think that hurt her a lot. Then she's doing photo ops instead of, you know, hitting ground zero and seeing what's going on. People look through her and then they seen like her giving $1.5 billion in aid, her doing it. $1.5 billion in aid to Ukraine while all of this is going on. You see what I'm saying? Like they see a video of her doing that and then she's offering $750. They're like, well, y'all think we a joke at this point. Y'all getting all of our tax money. We can't control what y'all doing with our tax money. You know, and it's like y'all for everybody else but Americans, the borders are flooding. Even your people on like 60 Minutes is telling you in your face, no, we cover the border. In the past couple years, the amount of people coming across the border has quadrupled. And with that, bringing in drugs, like they're telling you that. And Anderson Cooper had to check you a couple of times, like when he was questioning you about the border. He was like, well, don't you guys wish you would have did something about the border 3 years ago? Because remember, she tried to blame Trump. And he was like, don't y'all wish y'all would have did something about this 3 years ago? With all due respect, Trump is not in office. Like, she didn't pick up on what he was saying. He tried to give her some outs, but she couldn't like pick up on it. And it's like, y'all are just not, you know, Democratic Party is trying to get rid of voter ID restrictions. You know what I'm saying? Like, and then you see Newsom like, oh, I'm not gonna, what do you say? I'm not gonna deport people back. And then we seen Joe Rogan when he's doing an interview with Donald Trump say that I'm not saying they're doing this. I'm just saying what Joe Rogan is saying. Joe Rogan said that they were busing illegal immigrants to swing states. He said it in the interview. Then nobody could find the interview. Remember? And he had to like make a tweet about a 30 million view interview not being able to be found with Donald Trump. And then you were able to find it after that. So like all of this, man, it was just so much. Then we hearing her saying that Twitter needs to be removed. She said that. We played video. Bro, I did so many videos showing her saying that. It was crazy. She said it. Hillary Clinton said it. John Kerry ended up doing like a little speech talking about social media is a problem and they can't, like, you know, government can't control the message, which is like propaganda. And so they were not the party of free speech. They were saying that Trump, he wanted to do away with free speech and the world is going to be more dangerous for Trump. But then there's wars under you guys' administration. Not saying y'all caused the wars, but, you know, y'all are not trying everything that y'all can to stop the wars from what it looks like to the average American. And you could even see it like when Trump won, Vladimir Putin wanted to talk to him. They wanted to stop what was going on in Hamas. You see what I'm saying? And then what does Joe Biden do? Oh, well, Vladimir Putin want to kind of stop the war. Okay, Ukraine, y'all can shoot long-range missiles at Russia. And people are like, yo, wait a minute, aren't y'all like Trump's about to get into office? Why are you trying to make it worse? Imagine if she would have won. Like this war would have been extended. And if y'all in the military, I'll be shaking in my boots watching the presidential campaign from Kamala Harris. Like, and seeing that they not trying to stop this, you know, so I don't know. I think, you know, honestly, when you talk about peace, I think Trump is like the president of peace. And you got to think under his administration, when he was running, there was no new wars. He ended up getting rid of ISIS. He gave the military the permission to do whatever they needed to do to get rid of ISIS. Remember when Obama was in office? ISIS, that's all you used to hear. You didn't hear that when Trump was in office. You might have heard it once. He not play. That's why Vladimir Putin and all them people was in check when it came to Trump, because he knew what was up. They knew what was up. Even like Kim Jong-un, whatever his name is, like he knew. Like Trump talked about it, like, yo, we had a meeting. Right? Me with the North Korea dude. You know, I told him, like, yo, why don't you got all this beautiful land over here, all these oceans. Why don't you go take a vacation? Go on one of these, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, your beautiful oceans and take a vacation. Just chill out. Like, you ain't got to do all this. Now, if I'm Kim Jong-un, I'll be kind of like, yo, what you want me to go on vacation for, bro? You trying to like clip me? You know what I'm saying? But he told him that. And then he was like, yo, I guess Kim Jong-un like was trying to play tough guy. And Trump was like, look, we both got red buttons, but mine actually works. You see what I'm saying? Like, mine will work. Like, and that put Kim Jong-un like under notice, like, yo, let me chill out. You know what I mean? Let me not make Trump that mad, you know? And then they ended up being cool after it. And you even seen it like recently, Donald Trump met with Russia's president, Vladimir Putin, right? Recently just met with him. When they shook hands, you could tell who was in charge. It wasn't Vladimir Putin. Like, you could tell Trump pulled him over and like shook his hand. Like, you could tell who was like really in control of everything. Like, so, and I don't want to make it out to like Vladimir Putin is like a real bad guy, because actually when you really read about and learn about Vladimir Putin, you realize he ain't as bad as we've been making him out to be. He's actually been helping. He's been on the right side of helping us with a lot of things and squash a lot of things. It's the America, USA, that's been creating like more tensions like with Russia. You know, so that's another thing I've been finding out. But, you know, Trump was like cool with him. I want somebody that's going to be cool with everybody, so we ain't got to have 100,000, 2, 3, 400,000, 1.5 million people no longer on this earth because of a silly war. You see what I'm saying? So I don't know. Y'all tell me what y'all think. I'm not a war hawk. Like Liz Cheney, she's a war hawk. I'm not a war hawk. I don't want people like that in positions of power.
Work we
It's
did.
about making your friends
Our
rich.
spirit and our work was about saying that it is a strength that we each have to lift people up, as opposed to beating people down. It is
So
a strength
stupid.
we have that has lasting effect. So all that work that you did that was about engaging with other people, engaging with perfect strangers and in their face seeing a neighbor, that has lasting effect. It reminds people that there are leaders like you who care and will bring us together. And you know, sometimes in the darkest moments, people lose faith in that. Are there people out there that feel that way? And you reminded people that yes, there are. And there are a lot of us. And that strength cannot be taken from us. That is our strength. It cannot be taken from us. So listen, as I said the day after the election, I still strongly believe the light of America's promise
Y'all hit the like button if y'all can.
will burn bright as long as we never give up and we keep fighting. And the fight that fueled our campaign, a fight for freedom and opportunity, that did not end on November 5th. A fight for the dignity of all people, that did not end on November 5th. A fight for the future, a future in which all people receive the promise of America? No. A fight that is about a fight for the ideals of our nation, the ideals that reflect the promise of America, that fight's not over. So look, we still have a lot to fight for.
Agenda 50, you funny. I see what you just said.
Okay? A future where every American can pursue their dreams, ambitions, and aspirations.
She is reading hard, trying to stay on point. And let me just say this. She do sound like she off something. More importantly, the question that you have to ask yourself is she making this speech because she's trying to stay engaged with her supporters so that she can make a run? Or is she doing this because they still trying to cover?
Her making another run is like out of my mind. I do not think this lady is going to run for president again. especially with her wasting that kind of money. Like, she's the fall guy right now. Like, nah. My fiance with the $2 donation, he said, tell Kamala she's still VP to be looking like that. Exactly.
For that $20 million debt. That's the question that you're asking yourself.
Where the women of America have the right to make decisions about their own
Jill said, I love her gobbledygook.
body, not their government telling them what to do. Our fight for the rule of law, for freedom for all, for equal justice.
We only got 20,000 views in here. Hit the like button. Wait a minute. Stop playing with me. Stop playing with me, dog. Hit the like button. What's up with y'all? Y'all treat me like I'm Kamala. Hit the likes. Stop playing with me.
Yeah, she needs
The
to go back
sacred
on vacation.
principle
Bad.
that everyone, no matter where they start out,
Bad.
has certain fundamental rights.
Yeah, Alex said they'll never nominate her again. I don't think they will. She wouldn't. Like, who nominated her to begin with?
That must be upheld. That's not over. That fight's still in us, and it burns strong.
This doesn't convince us at all.
And I know this is an uncertain time. I'm clear-eyed about that. I know you're clear-eyed.
No, you're not.
And it feels heavy. And I just have to remind you, don't you ever let anybody take your power from you. You have the same power that you did before November 5th.
No, you don't.
And you have the same purpose that you did. And you have the same ability to engage and inspire.
They should have cut this, bro. What is they doing, man? Y'all Democrats is dirty, bro. Y'all know y'all could have cut this. Y'all just letting her talk.
So don't ever let anybody or any circumstance take your power from you.
Code.Carter is a member. He said, join, tap the screen to like. Yeah, double tap the screen, y'all.
Look, this mission that we have, it takes hard work.
What's up, Tyler?
This is
But
bad.
as you've heard me say many times,
This
we
is
like
bad.
hard work. Hard work is good work. Hard work can be joyful work.
Would y'all clap? I'm just saying. If Kamala hit you up in the DMs, like, what's up? Like, what would y'all do?
And in doing our work,
This is
we will
painful.
remain committed and intentional about building
If she got sauced up and hit you in the DM, like, I've been watching your comments.
community, building coalitions, reminding people that we all have so much more in common than
That's probably why, like, didn't she, like, allegedly, hold on. Let me see. Mislead about Harris romance with Willie Brown. Quick tale, full story. False and misleading claims targeting Vice President Kamala Harris intensified as she drew closer to formally becoming the Democratic nominee for president on August 5th. So did she do it? Another viral claim circulating on social media rehashes old rumors about Harris' relationship with the influential California Democrat Willie Brown in the 1990s. While Harris was working as an assistant district attorney, these posts misleading claims that Harris started her career by sleeping with a married man or that she stole a black woman's husband. Here is what we know about Harris' relationship with Brown. How do y'all know, bro? Harris was 29 in March 1994 when a San Francisco Chronicle columnist described her as Brown's new steady, going on to say that she was something new in Willie's love life. She's a woman, not a girl. At the time, Brown, who was then 60 years old and Speaker of the California State Assembly, had been estranged from his wife for more than a decade. As Speaker, Brown appointed Harris to the California Medical Assistance Commission later that year, which provides the basis and claims that Brown helped Harris' career that sometimes accompany the claims suggesting that she broke up his marriage. So what do y'all think, bro? I don't know, bro. Y'all trying to help her. Oh, Emhoff acknowledges affair during his marriage after tabloid report. Yo, he cheated on Kamala. What? He probably get his payback, bro. Political. Yo, it be dudes like this that be clapping. Like, what? What? That he got that preacher, that old preacher look. Like, so he gonna get your girl. Hold on. Since Kamala Harris became vice president, her former boyfriend and political mentor has had a stock line and dispatches with his signature in on all jokes. If Harris ever became president, Willie Brown likes to say, she'll deport my A-word. However, last weekend, when I called Brown, the seemingly ageless 90-year-old former San Francisco mayor had a new version at the ready. She may send me back to Manila, Brown said, setting up the punchline with the... Like, what are y'all talking about? Political? Y'all getting on my nerves trying to joke, bro. Did she have an affair or not? Second gentleman, Doug Eckhoff, acknowledged Saturday to having an extramarital affair. So they trying to throw him under the bus to take the bullet for her because they were speculating that she had an affair.
Separates us.
We
will be armed with the faith and the fuel
campaign season
that tells us what is possible and then drives us to achieve it. So let's continue to organize and mobilize and stay engaged.
Cover that $20 million hole.
And I thank you all. I thank you all. We are all in this together. All right? We are all in this together. And on this practical eve of Thanksgiving, I wish everyone a happy Thanksgiving.
Yeah, we heard it before. Y'all let me know what y'all think inside of the chat. Make sure y'all tap into the Patreon. Link is in the description. We definitely going to be going over this on the Millionaire Morning Show more in depth.
No, man.
It's time for Lefties Losing It. Let's start with a special message from Vice President and failed presidential candidate Kamala Harris. Is this message delivered to her voters or is it for herself?
I just have to remind you, don't you ever let anybody take your power from you. You have the same power that you did before November 5th. And you have the same purpose that you did. And you have this...
Bruh. Now that they got like a closer, like shit.
Same ability to engage and inspire. So don't ever let anybody or any...
Imagine like being like what's married to somebody in politics, bro. And y'all cheating on each other and y'all still gotta be like with each other. It's crazy, bro. Cole Carter said, double tap the screen. Mafioso said, Rita.
Any circumstance take your power from you.
Where's the joy? Yes, it does feel like she's repeating a mantra to herself in the mirror daily. Now to someone else who needs a good, hard look in the mirror, because everything Sharon Stone spews in this sad little diatribe actually applies to her and her ilk.
My country is in its adolescence. Adolescence is very arrogant. Adolescence thinks it knows everything. Adolescence.
This lady is literally popular for crossing her legs in a movie. Basic Instinct. Like, what does she know? Y'all celebrities be out of pocket, bro. Y'all be crazy out. Like, who are you? Then they be trying to shame because they done made a little bit of money. Like Sharon Stone, like don't nobody even book you no more, bro.
Is naive and ignorant and arrogant. And we are in our ignorant, arrogant adolescence. We haven't seen this before in our country. So Americans who don't travel, who 80% don't have a passport, who are uneducated,
Is Sharon Stone sitting here blasting Americans, calling us uneducated and we ain't got a passport? Hey, listen, lady, I've been to Geneva, Switzerland, Zurich, Switzerland, Milan, Italy, Lake Como, Italy, all of that, France. I've been to Mexico. I've been to all of that, right? What is this? Like, none of that has shown, like, make me see everything like super clear. I could just tell when I go to the grocery store that Kamala Harris and Biden wasn't helping us. I didn't need a passport to tell me that. What is this lady? This lady is wild, bro.
In their extraordinary naivete.
Extraordinary, the deep delusion, the self-delighted arrogance and ignorance of a Hollywood elite who has zero understanding of her own country and countrymen, let alone the world. Even her little stat there about passports was wildly wrong.
Yeah.
But the ill-informed, hate-filled rant did not end there.
Those good men must be very aware that a lot of your friends are not good men. And you can't continue to pretend that your friends are good men when they are not good men.
What is she? This lady is crazy.
And you must
What is she?
be very clear-minded and understand that your friends who are not good men are dangerous, violent men, and you have to keep them away from your daughters, your wives, and your girlfriends.
If only she had the courage to speak out about bad men when Harvey Weinstein was preying upon young women. But then Harvey is a Democrat. He hated Trump. He hates Trump. He even marched with the Pussy Hat Brigade. Can you believe that? Against Donald Trump. And he remained protected. And let's end this Sharon Stone interlude with this ridiculous remark where she compares the real fascism Italy experienced in the past with Trump's election victory.
You know, Italy has seen fascism. Italy has seen these things. You guys, you understand what happens.
Oh dear, someone should tell Sharon who the Italian Prime Minister is right now. It's the Italian Trump, Giorgia Meloni, a centre-right woman who the media decried as a fascist, a far-right extremist, and a threat to the country.
She literally just alienated like her whole fan base. If she wasn't getting booked before, she really ain't getting booked.
Familiar? She is now among, if not the most popular leader in Europe. Also in Italy is another lefty losing it, and he's a regular in this segment, Alec Baldwin, fresh from an awful Saturday Night Live performance, and he too was bashing his country and his countrymen.
It's a very difficult time in the United States. Americans are very uninformed about reality, what's really going on. With climate change, Ukraine, Israel, you name it, all the biggest topics in the world.
Now to CNN.
With climate change. He sounds like a lefty, don't he?
And we're Scottish.
I think we are informed, Mr. Baldwin. We're informed that you need to be in jail. Ain't he the actor that didn't pop somebody before? Like, talking to us like who is you, bro? Like, get out of here. Like, yeah, we are informed about Ukraine. We're informed that all of our tax money is going over there. That's what we're informed about, and we don't like it.
Jennings, as the token conservative, continues to embarrass the lefty losers.
I heard what you're saying about X. I saw a survey this week. It's now the most ideologically balanced user platform.
Scott, stop. It's too early. I just sat down. I've only been here for 2 minutes.
You're going to be embarrassed when I tweet out after the show, but
you cannot say that.
So
That's not the case.
So
Who's the source of that?
What I find, we reported it on this network.
It's not accurate, and you know it.
Okay, I'll let you make your statement.
Yes, Scott.
You know what it is? I mean, she's just paid to say something negative about like Republicans. I think it's just her For You page, right? Like, so when you have when you're scrolling, it's just gonna put things in front of you that you've been looking at, right? So if you're a Republican, or even if you may be liberal and you're trying to peek in and see what the Republicans are doing, like, it's gonna keep recommending like Republican info to you. So yeah, you're gonna think it's one-sided because your For You page is gonna look like that because of what you've been searching. But I don't know. Let's see what they say about it.
What's your source? What's your source? It's too early for facts. Let's have a look at
She said it's too early for facts.
what his source is, where Scott got those facts and figures from.
Look at this, the party ID among those who regularly use X/Twitter for news. Back in 2022, 65% of those who regularly use Twitter/X for news were Democrats. Just 31% were Republicans. Look at where we are today. Just a completely different picture. Now it's basically split between Democrats at 48%, Republicans at 47%. And what I should note, Mr. Berman, is this new overall makeup matches the overall electorate far better.
Democrats still outnumber Republicans on X, but it's some sort of far-right site. I mean, people who spew that.
Yeah, because Twitter was, you got to understand, like, they were getting rid of, like, Republicans left and right, like suspending their accounts and muffling their posts, like doing all of those different things. And they were getting money from the GOV, is what the Twitter files was saying, to do that and suppress, like, the Red Party, Republicans. So, I mean, I would think it would be a whole lot of liberals on Twitter. I would think, right? Remember that platform when President Trump, when he was president, they deplatformed a sitting president on Twitter. That's how liberal they were.
That nonsense obviously have zero experience on social media, or they're just dishonest. Take your pick. Now let's check in with a grown man who identifies as a baby wearing a diaper, and he has a disturbing update for us.
Yeah, at work, I'm about to drop off an order, and my diaper's getting kind of full right now, so I might need to change really soon, but it is very discreet. Check out my last video for the discreet outfits video, but my diaper is getting a little full right now.
Joining me now is Deputy Opinion Editor at Newsweek, Batia Ungasagon. Batia, let's hear from Emmy Award-winning former CBS investigative journalist Catherine Herridge, who left the network early this year and can now reveal how they refused to air the stories, the contents of that infamous Biden laptop until after the midterm elections.
I went to a lot of effort to get the cleanest copy of the laptop data, the same data that was provided to the FBI, because I didn't want to have any professional journalistic risk for...
Wait, where is this? Who did this? This is X.
CBS News. I wanted this thing to be totally locked down. When we did the story, we did it after the midterms. I argued against that because it was ready before the midterms. And my training is that you should always do the story when it's ready to go. You should not be dictated by the political cycle.
But Tia, the story was good to go. It was ready, but they didn't want to run it before the midterms.
It's an absolute scandal, Rita. What you have here is a news organization pretending to be objective and actually literally carrying water for one of the candidates and one of the parties and one of the sides in this two-party system here. And when you think about the fact that CBS ran one of the presidential or the vice presidential debate, right? Like, how can this be? How can we allow this to stand where the media has chosen a side when it is their job to help the American people choose what is best for them?
Right, exactly.
You just see this in time and time again. You know, CBS just got caught doing it. But if you think that the journalists at the New York Times and the Atlantic and the Washington Post and CNN and MSNBC are any different, they really aren't. 96% of journalists are Democrats, and it's a huge scandal.
It is, and it only gets worse. Here, Catherine explains CBS did not want to report on legitimate stories like the use of the N-word in these text messages.
Once we got the laptop story on the morning news, I felt that there was so much there that we could still do. For example, in the text messages, there's...
Poor George said, peep the necklace.
Unfortunately, the use of the N-word, the liberal use of the N-word. And I thought this was worthy of a story, but I was told that it was not something that interested CBS News. Then I I asked for a forensic review of the laptop, and we found that there were more than half a dozen emails that were likely used by Joe Biden. I thought that was a story. But the answer that came back was, well, we need to know what the content is of the emails. But that was going to be a years-long process.
Extraordinary. Not just...
Well, do y'all think that they hid the Hunter Biden, like, laptop story?
the president's involvement in these emails, but the fact that these text messages had the liberal use of the N-word, she said there, that they would ignore that when that...
That's crazy, bro. Why are they ignoring that? Why are they ignoring that? So they had to, they were saying the N-word and everything, huh? Oh man, let me see if YouTube's slowing this video down. Let me see. Y'all hit the like button if y'all can. Because this is the first time I ever heard this. Have y'all heard this before? Chat, have y'all heard this before? We got 47,000, so they low-key slowing it down. They hit a lot of stuff for sure. Yeah, and then they found that white girl, you know what I'm saying, in the White House, and they was trying to like not talk about it.
Have been so obsessed with race and any sort of racial slur or any suggestion of racism, and you've got the use of the N-word, and you think, oh, no one's going to be interested in that.
It's crazy.
I mean, Rita, can you even imagine if they found text messages from Eric Trump or Don Jr. that had the N-word in them? I mean...
Hey, yo, and my video and all that, like, clip that and, like, just post it everywhere, like, them saying that. Like, that's crazy.
Would talk about nothing else for a month. I mean, you just know that this is true. Yeah. And meanwhile, they smear Donald Trump and they smear the MAGA movement as racist when actually covering up actual racism on their own side. And it's so amazing because you know that they are out there scouring tapes for some indication that Donald Trump is racist, a man who obviously does not have a racist bone in his body because they found nothing, Rita, in all of this time while actively suppressing evidence that Joe
That's one thing, like being black, like looking into like this whole Trump thing. Cause I'm like, is he racist? Like they're like, yo, he wouldn't rent to black people. And I wouldn't like really rent to like a whole, like, it depends on what type of people. Like I'm kind of like, you ain't about to house. I grew up around black people. I'm just saying, you know, so I mean, other than that, like, what did he do? And I couldn't find nothing. I'm like, this dude dating black girls. Like, he's inviting all these black people to the White House. He's trying to help all these black. I don't know, bro. I don't see the racism. I don't see it like how people are like trying to make it seem. I see more racism on Joe Biden. And Kamala Harris even called him out on it when they was on the presidential campaign trail. Like, come on, bro.
Own son uses the N-word. I mean, it's really so revealing.
Man, I'm about to tweet this, bro. Hold on. Let me see, bro. Let me record her saying that, bro. That's crazy.
And I'm so glad that this reporting is out there, and I'm so glad that you are calling attention to it.
Well, is it any wonder that trust in the media is at historic lows in the US? And you can see why people are increasingly turning to the likes of Joe Rogan. The Democrats are very eager to create their own Joe Rogan, but as he explains here, they had him. He was a Democrat. Listen to this discussion between Joe Rogan and Mark Anderson.
You pay people, it's not going to have the same impact. Yeah. You know, I think these Call Her Daddy shows and all these different shows that she went on, I mean, I'm sure they had an impact. Yeah. But I think that in the future, I'm sure they're scrambling to try to create their own version of this show. Right. This is one thing that keeps coming up, like we need our...
Yeah, bro. That's crazy. They had Joe Rogan and messed it up. That is insane, man.
Own Joe Rogan. Right. But they had me.
Well, number one, they had you. Number one, they had you. They had you and they drove you away. It's that number one number. But they also have, you know, ABC, NBC, CBS, CNN.
Right, but that doesn't work anymore.
They had him. He was
Yeah, that's crazy.
a Democrat, like so
I
many
got to do that when playing Joe Rogan because I don't want to get copyright.
others now who are standing with Donald Trump, including Elon Musk and RFK Jr., Tulsi Gabbard. Joe Rogan donated to Bernie Sanders. It was a Bernie bro, wasn't he? And to see him be red-pilled, to see him be personally attacked by the leftist media, and it's opened his eyes to how the system works. What will the Democrats have to do to counter this? Because they can go and pay podcasters, they can pay Oprah, but it just doesn't have the same impact.
Mm-mm.
The reason that you can't imagine a Joe Rogan on the left is because the thing that they want is not the thing that he is actually doing. They believe that they are smarter than everybody else and that therefore they should be able to tell the American people what to think. And then they project their fantasy onto Joe Rogan that he's literally telling people what to think, and they're following him like zombies as he tells them to vote for Donald Trump, when of course the opposite is the case. The reason Joe Rogan is so popular is because he never tells anybody what to think. He listens to this one, he listens to that one, he asks questions, and then he's like, who knows? Make up your own mind, right?
Yeah, he does do that.
That's why he's so popular, because he is a truly independent thinker. And that's why you will never have a Joe Rogan on the left, because, Rita, they are incapable of independent thought, which is why the American people have totally turned on them.
Well, it's becoming like Islamism. As someone who escaped an Islamist country, it's
Islamism.
total submission. You either submit to what we think on every issue, or you're on the outer. You start getting attacked, and that's what happened with Rogan. I want to ask you about Special Counsel Jack Smith. He's dropped the January 6th and classified document cases against Donald Trump. We spoke about that yesterday. But
shout out to Rita. Let's see what they're talking about on here.
His accent. Kamala Harris does that. Hillary did it. Obama did it. He did university do not.
Mafioso with the $5 donation. He said, "Where's the outrage from the media on Hunter's laptop saying the N-word? It's called selective outrage, depending on who it is." I'm about to tweet this, bro.
Represent the working man at in Michigan, or the Latino, La Raza, Latinx media spokesperson does not represent the people I'm living around right now here in the San Joaquin Valley. And that was a radical idea. And if you look at the actual data from the 2016, 2020, and 2024, he really didn't increase much the white working class or the white vote at all. And he was about the same. He went up a little bit with women, but where he made unbelievable gains were in Mexican Americans, Native Americans, Asians, and African Americans. And had he not made those gains, he would not have won. And that's what they do not want to confront, because that's the keystone of the Democratic Party: victim, victimization, victimizers, oppressor, oppressed. And they have this kind of Marxist binary, and people don't buy into it. And especially minorities don't buy it. They don't like, I think a key signature thing real quickly was in Obama. It was an iconic moment when he took those African-American activists, very intelligent young men, and took them to the side and said, "You don't know what's good for you. You're a captive to racism and sexism, and I can tell you what your real interests are."
Yes.
That was kind of revealing.
It was so condescending and patronizing. And it was he may as well have said,
"If you don't vote for us, you ain't black.
You have to vote for Kamala because she's black like you." And actually, I think you've brought up a great point, which is, I think a lot of the voting for Trump in the end was colorblind. They just weren't voting because of ethnicity. They were voting for a common shared concern about big issues, which Kamala Harris simply wasn't able to articulate any meaningful policy about. And I always say to people, whatever you think of Trump, his position on things is very crystal clear. You know, there's no ambiguity. He's one of the great marketers in the history of politics. And you know what he stands for. But rather like with Hillary back in 2016, if you'd asked people on the streets of 20 major American cities all over the country, give me 5 things she stands for, they'd have really struggled to tell you. Whereas with Trump, they could have rattled them off with no problem. And I thought the same this time, that she eventually, having started off with, we're going to have a joyful campaign, Kamala Harris very quickly morphed back to Hillary's way of doing things in 2016, which was basically call Trump a Hitler, a new Hitler, a Nazi, a fascist, and so on, demonize all his supporters, and then surround herself with a very pampered prima donna, multimillionaire celebrity.
Oh, I've been wanting to hear this. Hold on, let me see this.
One promise that you guys aren't going to do me dirty in the thumbnail for this video.
Yo, Piers Morgan be cooking people in the thumbnail. Hold on, let me show y'all this. Hold up. Yeah. Yo, Piers Morgan be smoking people, bro. Look what he just did to Jordan Peterson. Like, look at this. Like, he be cooking people in them thumbnails, bro.
His accent.
She
Kamala
funny.
Harris does that.
Hold on,
Hillary
let's
did
go
it.
back to
Obama
that.
did it. He didn't change his clothing. He came out to a bunch of
on many times, but you haven't taken the Cenk route of coming on just to shout at me. But it's good to have you finally, and we'll get to Cenk later. Don't worry.
Thank you.
I just want to talk to you. So
Well, you need to give me one promise.
Go on.
You have to give me one promise that you guys aren't going to do me dirty in the thumbnail for this video. You promise?
You know what? I can't promise because we've done some corkers recently, particularly involving Cenk. But as he knows better than anybody, a great thumbnail drives more traffic, and that's the game we're in. We want people to watch what we're doing.
True.
Otherwise, what's the point? So we are very proud of our thumbnail.
I mean, if I look
record.
attractive. If I look attractive, that might actually draw some more eyebrows. So think about it.
Wow, you're playing that card. Well, I admire it. I admire it.
You mid. You're not like the best. Like you're all right. You're mid.
Listen, to be serious, you've made a bit of news recently. We've got a little shot to start with of your reaction to when Trump won in 2016.
I have no respect for women who voted for Trump. Okay.
Yeah. Me too.
I think so poorly of them, and the reason why is because, look, I don't think that you're a single issue voter. I just think you're dumb, okay? I think you're fucking dumb.
Please cook her, Piers.
When you vote for someone who openly treats women like second-class citizens, who talks about...
You mean like the president-elect that's putting women in all of these super powerful positions and some women in positions that's never been held by a woman before? You mean that president?
As if they're nothing more than a piece of meat, who has been accused of sexually assaulting them, who has been caught on tape talking about groping them and grabbing them by the pussy without consent. Yeah, you're an idiot.
You see her, like, her virulent, like nasty little mouth? Like, do you really have to talk like that, lady? Come on, be a woman.
You're an idiot.
So, Anna, have you moderated your view of Trump voters this time around?
To say the least. That video I am not proud of, I will say that. And, you know, I had a very emotional reaction to news that Trump won in 2016. I was totally blindsided by it. And to be quite frank, I think that attacking voters is one of the worst things you can do. These are our fellow Americans, regardless of who they vote for, what they think. In order for this great experiment in America to work, we have to respect each other. And so that was 8 years ago. I'd like to think that I've matured since then, and I hope that I can prove that maturity.
She has changed. She has.
Through the work that I do today.
You said 5 days before the election, you posted this, I think, to X, I don't support Trump. I also don't think it's helpful to call him a fascist or a Nazi. Those words actually mean something.
See what I'm saying? She changed.
Beyond not liking a candidate. I mean, I completely agree with you. And I respected you for saying that. Because actually, the over-demonization of Trump, all it did was help him and damage the left anyway. I mean, it was an act of self-harm because most reasonable-minded people went, well, hang on, Hitler killed 12 million people. What are you talking about? And if he was such a terrible fascist...
Sean Mayberry said, you leave her mouth alone. I got next.
Why didn't he behaved like a fascist for 4 years.
She all right. Like she just be like saying some super like democratic stuff. That's why I was like, she mid. She all right. She ain't bad looking.
The chance, and the truth is he didn't. January 6th was awful, and I wrote that at the time and said it at the time. But other than that, where you could construct an argument for this was the kind of thing you would see in a sort of a banana republic, there's nothing about Trump's first term which screamed fascism to me. And I felt that persistent attack and he's the new Hitler was just ludicrous.
Mm-hmm. Well, it's insulting for like the Jewish community that, of course, was victimized by Hitler. It kind of downplays or minimizes the severity and the brutality of Hitler and what he carried out. But, I think that just to play devil's advocate, those who kind of use phrases or words like fascist in order to describe Donald Trump.
And then this is why I don't think she's smart. Like, she got an HOA. Like, where she live at? Like, she... I'm sorry. If you got an HOA, my bad. Like, but... She ain't that smart, bro.
They're not using it in an academic sense. They're using it in regard to some of the, authoritarian tendencies that we heard about regarding Donald Trump in his first term. And, you can argue, well, there's a lot of hearsay. There's a lot of comments from disgruntled former administration officials who claim that Trump said these things behind closed doors. If you want to make that argument, that's fine. But even if, let's give those individuals the benefit of the doubt and just assume that Trump did, in fact, say those things during closed door meetings, it still doesn't rise to the actual definition of a fascist, right? I mean, where are the brown shirts? Where is the militarized citizenry that's going to carry out, Trump's dirty deeds? It's a type of hyperbole that I don't think Democrats, and I'm not talking about the voters, I'm talking about Democrats in positions of power, genuinely believed. I think what they did is use tactics of fear and division in order to accumulate votes and support in lieu of having an actual imagination of what this country could be if they implement policies that make the lives of ordinary Americans better. The Democrats have made a deal with the devil, and the devil is their corporate donors. And since their corporate donors want very specific things for the donations that they're providing to these politicians, and usually that's policy that does not bode well for American workers, what Democrats tend to do is lean into tactics of fear, or they talk about culture war issues, right? They lean into the culture war. And every election cycle, they get more and more maximalist with what they claim they want to carry out on these culture war topics. And they've gone too far. And I think Americans have kind of fought back against them.
You gave three events that you've referenced, which made you reassess your political alignment. The first one was when you revealed you'd been sexually assaulted by 2 homeless people in LA in 2022, and you were accused of stigmatizing your unhoused neighbors, which was a staggering response to a woman revealing she'd been sexually assaulted. Tell me about that.
No, why you? Hey, Piers, bro. Hey, what you mean? Like, she don't want to talk about that. Piers, bro.
Right. I mean, I hate having to relive it, but yeah, I was walking my dog and there were 2 men coming toward me. But, living in Los Angeles, there is a large homeless population, and I had never been, victimized by anybody before. So I didn't think much of it. As I was bending over to pick up my dog's mess, one of them grabbed me by the hips and with an erection, just started thrusting at me very violently. I was terrified. I was alone. I didn't have a weapon on me. And so, it took a while for me to get over that, because whether I like it or not, I have to walk my dog. Right. Sometimes I have to do it at night, right? And so I had to kind of think about that every single time I was taking my dog out to walk. And so I had just opened up about it on our show, not really thinking that it was going to lead to backlash. I wasn't even looking for sympathy. It was on my mind, and I just talked about it.
That's insane. Like, I hope they caught that dude.
And it led to just this wave of you hate homeless people, you're stigmatizing homeless people, don't call them homeless people, they're unhoused, which I don't even understand why unhoused would be better than saying homeless.
And by the way, these are the same people.
This is what the left likes to do.
Right,
they like to change the language instead of actually addressing the issue at hand.
Yeah, and these are the same people who supposedly are there for women, right? And fighting for women and, you know, supporting.
Yeah, shot baby, are you right, bro? Piers, like, asking that question is crazy, bro. What is you doing, Piers?
Women and believe women, all this kind of thing. But when it actually came to you, they just were prepared to throw you under a horrific bus. And far from treating you as a victim, they almost made you out to be the villain of this story.
They did, but I want to be clear about something. I think that this is a small but incredibly loud and influential faction of the Democratic Party. This is not indicative of all Democrats. This is not indicative of all Democratic lawmakers.
Let me check this out real quick.
In your community to uplift.
About a superbly qualified, courageous and principled man who is currently a professor at Stanford Medical School.
Trump's top candidate endorsed herd immunity as the best way to address the COVID pandemic. Just a fancy way of saying, let's get everybody sick and see what happens. Cull the weak, cull the elderly.
What a disgusting lie from a woman who should know better. For the record, Dr. Bhattacharya advocated for focused protection of the elderly and vulnerable. But then we're used to Rachel Maddow lying, fibbing about everything from the Russian collusion hoax to the COVID jabs. Remember this?
Now we know that the vaccines work well enough.
Yo, she got a music license. I ain't got that music license. I can't play that.
And this meltdown is, I've got to say, superb fun. Enjoy.
Not only am I not interested in your opinion, I'm not even going to call you by your name. You're 23 years old. I don't really give a what you think. And let me tell you another huge error this made, is when people said campaigns need to reflect progressive values. No, they don't. No, they don't.
I like nothing more than watching lefties turn on each other. And Carville is in rare form here.
If I were running a 2028 campaign and I had some little snot-nosed 23-year-old saying, I'm going to resign if you don't do this, not only would I fire that on the spot, I would find out who hired them and fire that person on the spot. I'm really not interested in your uninformed, stupid jack opinion.
We mustn't forget that old school Democrats can be just as irrational, mean-spirited and bigoted as the new left. Watch here as Kerry Kennedy essentially disowns her own brother. This is gross.
I'm outraged and disgusted by my brother's gaudy and obscene embrace of Donald Trump. And I completely disavow and separate and dissociate myself from Robert Kennedy Jr. in this flagrant and inexplicable effort to desecrate and trample and set fire to my father's memory.
Now to women so enraged by democracy that they're screaming, quite literally, at the ocean. Now to some Now to women so enraged by democracy that they're screaming, quite literally, at the ocean. Now to some Australian content. Here is a woman protesting outside that they're screaming, quite literally, at the ocean. Now to some Australian content. Here is a woman protesting outside a synagogue in Melbourne, holding a sign saying, "Nothing is more anti-Semitic than Zionism," and listen to her reasoning here. This is incredible.
Why are you talking about anti-Semitism when you're not Jewish?
Because I've been impacted by anti-Semitism.
Are you a Jew?
No, people think I am, and I've been called a Jew and had someone threatened to kick my ass because they thought I was Jewish, so it's impacted me as well. We are not anti-Semitic. That's a lie.
So you've been affected by anti-Semitism because people mistaked you as a Jew?
Correct. Yeah.
Are you listening to your...
Maybe Sharon Stone is right. Americans, what is going on with us, bruh?
Because they thought I was Jewish, so it's impacted me as well. We are not anti-Semitic. That's a lie.
So you've been affected by anti-Semitism because people mistaked you as a Jew?
Correct. Yeah.
Are you listening to yourself?
Yes.
No, you're not listening to yourself. You are harassed because people think you're a Jew and you think it's a fine idea to protest outside a synagogue and hold a sign saying Zionism is anti-Semitic. Can I suggest you start by looking up what Zionism actually means? Now to the Australian Parliament, and this outburst from Senator Fatima Payman is something else. She launched a vicious, hate-filled diatribe against Conservative One Nation Senator Pauline Hanson. Watch here as Senator Ralph Babet tries to maintain his composure. This is the Australian Senate, folks.
She says, "We're bringing in people from South Africa at the moment. There's a huge amount coming into Australia who have disease. They've got AIDS. If that is not racist, what is it?"
Politics is pure comedy. Did this lady just say that?
She says, "We're bringing in people from South Africa at the moment. There's a huge amount coming into Australia who have disease. They've got AIDS. If that is not racist, what is it?" Oh, it's not racist. Oh, somebody bring the dictionary because Senator Hanson does not know the definition of racism. The fact that you would say just weeks ago to Senator Faruqi, "Piss off back to Pakistan," you're not just vindictive, mean, nasty, you bring disgrace to the human race. No dignity whatsoever as a senator.
Quite a disgusting display there from Senator Payman, frankly gross. And
Oh, God. So Candace Owens has got Kamala Harris's father's birth certificate. So this is what I want to see. What's up?
The election is over, it seems magically Jamaica's registrar office is back open for business. We indeed have a hard copy of Donald Jasper Harris's birth certificate, the mother of all genealogical bombs. I'm not going to keep you guys waiting, so let's get started. The mother of Donald Harris, who is allegedly Kamala's father. And yet that barrel was actually mentioned nowhere in the actual text of the book, just the photo. And then she was removed entirely from the Youth Readers edition, which was published just a couple of months later. So I also considered it very odd that Donald Harris and Kamala Harris did not and still do not have much of a relationship at all. He, as you will recall, was completely absent during her run for president of the United States. Like I'm saying, like even if you got family issues and family beef, when your daughter makes it almost to the tippity top, you're there.
First of all, Donald Trump wanting to get rid of the Department of Education. I'm not mad at that. I'm not mad at that. I'm not mad at that at all, bruh. Like now that we see how these people think, like, nah, get rid of it. Get rid of it. Get rid of it.
Just saying good stuff, right? Like just like, oh, she was amazing when time she was a child. No. Donald did not do any of that. In fact, I ranked it as extremely odd.
Hit the like button, y'all. Like, y'all trying to play me, bro? We got 86,000 views on this video. Can we get 100,000? Hit the likes!
Donald Harris, in his only written or even spoken piece to the public regarding Kamala, doesn't even mention his own mother or his own father outside of one line in the Jamaican Global. And that one line is essentially like, here it is. Both of my grandmothers had the strongest...
Sean Mayberry said, if I ever become famous, the first money I'm spending, it's to keep Candace quiet. Yeah, bro. Like, if I was Kamala, I would have hit... I'm like, yo, get me in touch with Candace Owens, people. Right? Candace, how much you want? You want $1 million? Like, leave me alone. I would have paid her off, bruh.
Influence on my early upbringing. Not to exclude, of course, the influence of my mother, Miss Beryl, and loving father, Mass Oscar. That's it. That's all he wrote, ever. The entire articles and said about his grandmothers on both his paternal and maternal side, the great influence that they wield over his life, and he completely just neglects his mother and his father beyond that one sentence. And I'm going, okay, I'll receive it within 3 to 5 days. Then the election is over, and lo and behold, Jamaica's registrar's office sends us Donald's birth certificate. Drum roll, please. I'm going to show you this birth certificate right now up on the screen. Look at this, okay?
So she about to prove whether or not Kamala is black.
And you can see this is very new. I'm also holding this here in my hand. It's very, very new, okay? Not a big deal. You have to reissue the birth certificate. You're not going to send me an original copy. But we're going to get closer here and notice some things that are very, very wrong about this birth certificate. The first thing being his name. We have been searching this entire time, and he is known publicly as Donald Jasper Harris. The birth certificate that we have, and we can confirm that his birthday is correct. We have August of 1938, August 23rd, 1938. That is, in fact, Donald Jasper Harris's birthday. But this man's name is Donald Joseph Harris, which just throws us for a loop. Who is Joseph? Where did the Joseph come from? Did he change his name to Joseph, or did he change his name to Jasper? We are unclear about this. Then we are just utterly shocked at the lack of information on this birth certificate, okay?
Where's his race?
Scroll down here. There is no father listed at all. Father does not exist.
Bro, they don't have a father or mother listed?
On this birth certificate, so we cannot confirm that she is from Oscar Joseph Harris's family, although in her book she says that she is. We cannot confirm what age he was at her birth because he's not there, his occupation, nothing. We've got almost the same amount of no information regarding the mother, but we have Beryl Finnegan listed. It won't tell us whether or not she had children prior, doesn't exist. It will not tell us. Oh, also, I should just point out here, her name is spelled Beyril Finnegan. And that just makes me instantly go, why would Kamala not know how to spell her grandmother's name? Wouldn't you know how to spell she spells in her book Beryl. So are we to believe that the birth registrar of Jamaica got it wrong? And now I know in my mind, I said, okay, well, you play.
Mind you, y'all, like she's found out that the lady that's supposed to be Kamala Harris's grandmother in the book is actually the help of the house. It's not Kamala Harris's grandmother. So this is what she has determined. I'm not saying that's true, but this is what she's determined. And she's shown a lot of like evidence to support her claim. She also found out that Kamala Harris's grandmother is actually a white lady. She's like Irish and Jewish. She's not black at all. Then she kind of broke down different people like photos or whatever, like how they were originally colored photos, and then Kamala Harris had them turn into black and white photos so that you couldn't really decipher or discern whether or not the person was Indian or black. Like she's been on Kamala Harris's heels, bro. So she's been looking for this birth certificate and she finally got it. So this is going to answer some questions.
And say, well, maybe you're dealing with people that didn't know how to read. No, this was a remarkably educated family. Donald himself is remarkably educated. We know this. That's why he's a professor. It's why he's been a writer. He's written prolifically throughout his entire life. This is not that family that didn't know how to read and write. And plus, again, here we have is an updated copy that was manually typed in. Let's pull that back up again. So all we have is her first and last name, Beryl Finnegan, spelled in a way that we have never seen it spelled before. Occupation, domestic.
Subscribe to Candace Owens. You know what I'm saying? Hit the like button, all of that. She got 71,000 likes. Subscribe to her. She got 3.1 million subscribers. She just jumped another million. Hey, Candace, you don't need my help, so I do you.
That could mean anything. It could mean she didn't have a job. She was working at home. We don't know what exactly that means, but they give us nothing else, not even her age at birth, which is remarkably suspicious. But the biggest thing here, which makes this almost a joke, I am not kidding when I say almost a joke, there is no witness to this birth, and it is not signed by a registrar. Guys, it's not signed by a registrar. Let me just slow this down for you. This means that this is not a birth certificate. This means no one was here and the birth certificate office didn't sign this and it wasn't registered. Every single birth certificate that we have seen throughout this entire series, from birth certificates from the 1800s, not even kidding, when we're looking at people that were born in 1880, 1885, all the way through.
So another thing, Kamala Harris is suspected of making up family members. This is crazy, Kamala.
To the 20th century in Jamaica, we have always had, here's just a sample one of who we thought was Beryl initially, but now we have our questions. Insane. You can see there is always a person that is present that signs off as the registrar of births, right? Because otherwise you haven't registered the birth, okay? A birth registrar is a government official that is responsible for recording a child's birth details. So they officially document their existence, they document their identity, they create that birth certificate, right? You have to go through either a local health department or the government to get that. You go into the office, hello, I'm the birth registrar, I'm here. Hi, this is my son who was born a month ago. Can we get a birth? Sure. And then they have to sign off. There is no one that has signed off on that. There is no witness who was present, which usually you're legally required to have a witness. I could accept this if there was no witness, but at least a registrar who had signed off on it. There is none. So what are we looking at? What are we looking at? By the way, I want to point out that it tells us that this document, which was produced weeks after he was allegedly born. He's allegedly born on the 23rd of August in 1938. It lists that, and I'm just trying to find where this is. Yeah, you can see that in that last segment there, the November 4th, 1938, right next to the signature of the registrar. It says that that certificate was made months later in November, but there was no, it wasn't registered and there was no witness. So how the hell is this in Jamaica's system at all? That is my question, okay? Now, to be clear at the bottom there, and I don't know if you guys can see that, but we have it signed from the current person who is leading up the registrar office, and his name is Desmond Davis. So we have a signature as of who it was that printed and signed off this document and sent it to us, because there has to be, with a blank document saying signing off on it. This
of innocent people. And
International Criminal Court, we talked about this yesterday, issued a warrant for Benjamin Netanyahu. He's disappeared without a trace. Disappeared into the U.S. without a trace. This is not normal stuff, you guys. This is just not normal stuff. Who are these people? Why is your father not listed here? Is that even your father? Were you born somewhere else, like in Cuba, Canada?
Made up family members. People are.
I don't know. But like I said, this birth certificate has led to more questions than answers, and I intend on trying to find some real answers to these questions. I'm just routinely left with the feeling that leaders are just being bred. We know nothing about these people. This just can't be every
and
single...
then, like, when she broke down Obama, too, like, where he came from, like, the Indonesia, and, you know, how his name was changed, and he went to Hawaii, and he went to a school that had like no black people in there, and then he wants to sit around and try to tell like black people or shame black people into voting for Kamala Harris and pull the brother card. Like the way she broke down Obama was insane. And then now she breaking Obama dodged a serious bullet with her. Like if she was lit like this during the Obama like campaign, I think Facebook really was the catalyst to help get Obama elected. But like if she was around like then when Obama was like, she would have been smoking what's his name? Obama. She would have been smoking him, bro. like revealing all of this, because mind you, we didn't know a lot of things about Obama until years later. She even broke down like who Obama's like girlfriend was. It's like some white lady or whatever. And then there was like a letter that he allegedly wrote to his girlfriend that was detailing his love for another man. Like she had like she was like, y'all gotta watch her. Like this month, like I think it was last month she had that. She was cooking, bro. You know what I'm saying? So shout out to her. That's why she jumped like so many millions. Cause I think when I first started watching her, like recently, she had like 1.2 million. She had 3.1 million views. I'm sorry, subscribers, 3.1 million subscribers. And almost every video that she drops is hitting, if not 1 million, it's like 900,000 or 800,000. Like, so she's not somebody that they can sit up here and try to ignore in the political arena. Like, people can hear her loud and clear what she's been saying. But shout out to everybody. We're going to start going live a lot more because I have kind of been not going live that much. Like I said, I had to run it up to 100,000 subscribers, but we will, this weekend start going live, talking about a lot of different things. But shout out to everybody that's been supporting. I got to get ready to go to work. I'm going to watch something real quick and then go to work. But I'm out. Come rate, subscribe. Let me know what y'all think about that. Shout out to Froggy, Megsy, everybody that's in the chat. You know what I'm saying? Mafiaso, a big contributor on here. Irek, I see you in here. Cassandra, Levy, I see you in here. Peter Sag, I see you in here. The Realist in here. A lot of y'all. You know what I'm saying? I appreciate y'all. Sean Mayberry, Cole Doc Carter, David, all of y'all. Speed Racer, everybody. Mike